everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Struther.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. Here. The lion. New man. They're so funny. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Struther.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
8.2 seconds.
One shot, baby. One shot. Yes! Okay, all right. Play D. No fouls. No fouls. Yes! Let's go! Top Hills!
You went down!
Let's go!
What was that? What was that,
Whoa! Whoa!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And today, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm so excited. I got two amazing guests on. We are live with the Walshes. You know my guy down here. You know the best kept secret in the game, except for those of us that know him. My guy, Mr. Dylan Walsh.
Hello.
Hey, and not to be outdone. His older, and I see his older brother. He's in the acting game. Arms a little tired though today, right? Dylan Walsh, baby. Yeah, buddy. Hey, I'm so glad we're able to get you on here, Dylan. Colin's got a little fan club within the Let's Talk Football community. I know we talked to you about that, but I need to see what the other brother has with the knowledge and all that stuff, man.
I think you got our names mixed up, dude.
Did I really? Colin and Dylan? Oh.
Yeah.
The apologies. Look, I'm still at work. I am straight. I apologize. So, right here with me is Colin. Right down there is Dylan. We're here. We got it. I'm excited. I'm kind of frazzled. If you don't already know, today is the national championship game. UNC, Kansas. Oh, I'm excited. I'm hyped. I'm nervous. Gentlemen, how are you feeling? What's your first initial thought about this?
It's fun seeing like an 18 making it because second time it's ever happened, and it's like a big upset. And also watching St. Peter's make it all the way. It's been a great tournament, but my bracket went out so quick with the Kentucky thing.
Yeah, well,
everybody's
went out. That how was yours? How's yours looking, Dylan? I mean, Colin. Hi.
Huh?
You know what?
Whatever.
Look, I've been struggling with names all week, Sid. You're absolutely right. I got to get my head right. We're good. Colin, man, talk to me.
Man, my bracket was immediately out like from the beginning, and I was like, okay, I still got I had Gonzaga winning it all, and they just got smacked.
Right.
And I'm by Arkansas, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, and then Villanova, who I had making it and losing, almost made it. And then lost to Kansas. So, I got closer than my brother did to any teams in the Final Four.
I had 0 Final Four teams, and none of my Final Four teams even made the Elite Eight, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Well, Kentucky hurt me like it hurt everybody, no doubt about it. But two of my 4 teams got to the Final Four. Kansas and Duke. I thought Kansas, obviously, overall number 1. I knew that they could get there. But Duke, Coach K's last year, and up until this last game, I didn't think that there was any way that they were going to stop him from getting to the national championship. But there was a team in blue, baby.
Somehow UNC has beaten Duke on Coach K's final game twice.
Yeah,
they've done it twice.
Oh yeah,
it's lovely. It's lovely. I love it.
They somehow turned a final game into 2 wins.
So beautiful. So and look, but to your guys' point. Like those two, the Kansas and Duke, I kind of knew they had the type of teams. Duke has a bunch of, lottery picks on their team, And then Kansas, they have a bunch of powerhouse. We'll definitely get into that in a little bit. But I didn't think there was any chance my Tar Heels got here.
I believed in them. I had them beating Baylor, had them beating UCLA, had them into the Elite Eight.
Let's see where
where did you have them, Colin? Because I honestly didn't have them going past Baylor.
I had them losing to Baylor.
Yeah,
I had them losing to Baylor.
Usually one seed goes out second round, and then I was looking at the bracket and trying to figure out which one to pick. And I went, Gonzaga's too good, Arizona's too good, Kansas might not be too good, but they were gonna play like Creighton, so I think this is an easy win. So I went with the UNC one.
My first seed, I was like, I don't trust Kansas. Was my original thing, so I had them losing to Iowa in like the Elite Eight because I had faith in
Iowa
Iowa
killed me as well. I had Iowa Final Four.
Well,
I had two Final Four teams out first.
Right.
How do you lose to Richmond?
Well, the Spiders as the VA.
Richmond has the most wins as a double-digit seed in like the tournament, and it's by like 8 wins.
Yeah,
they're insane. It's the underdog in March Madness.
Yep. Yeah. So talk to you guys more. I was on mute. Yeah, talk to me more about. We know what Coach Roy Williams and how he's been a part of both teams. He actually both coaches succeeded him, Bill Self in Kansas, and then now Coach Huebert Davis. I mean, like, this game is built up to be an amazing game, and we're not going to give it away just yet. But like, how are y'all feeling about these two blue bloods in this game?
Yeah, this Final Four was a very like boring Final Four, considering that the 4 teams are powerhouses usually. Yeah. But UNC, no one thought would make it this far. People thought that Kansas probably. A lot of people didn't think. It was either you had Kansas in the final or you had them out like Sweet 16. So Kansas is a bit of an underdog, but it's been a fun time watching both the teams with the UNC's high-powered offense and like scoring like 90 a game.
Yeah, I don't know what I thought about UNC because I was big on Virginia Tech because that was my team.
Because they beat us.
They won in the ACC championship, and I was like, maybe North Carolina's like losing it, and they fell to the 8th seed. And I'm like, maybe they're losing it, and I was very wrong.
Okay. Well, I look, like I said, I didn't think that they could make it this far because of that very game you talked about, that Virginia Tech game. I was like, what? We lost to them by almost 20 points. And, this wasn't even the big name game in the ACC tournament. So I was like, all right, well, it's looking like we're not going to be able to do it. I was riding high from us taking out Coach K in Cameron Indoor, but it was still kind of like, I don't really have much respect. But look, I got to be very honest. Coming into this game, UNC is 17-3 in their last 20 matchups. And coming into the tournament, it's all about who's playing hot. North Carolina is playing with a lot of energy. They're playing very big right now. But then Kansas, man, they average like 84 points a game. Like Kansas, a lot of people are talking about, Kansas's defense. His defense is falling off. Well, it doesn't matter if you're outscoring everybody by, you know what I mean?
Because North Carolina just barely has defense. Well, you saw it in the Baylor game. As soon as one of their starters went out, the bench couldn't pull through, and they blew the lead.
Right, 2 of their starters went out. When Brady Manick went out, and then you had Caleb Love go out. Both those guys averaged about 25 plus a game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So Brady Manick had 26 in that game when he went out at the 10-minute mark.
But for Caleb Love, it's either he's going to get you 30 or he's going to shoot 1 for 30.
No, he's been playing very big as of late, and I definitely. Okay.
The reason why UNC is so good is because they've played 5 games so far in March Madness, and they've had 4 different scoring leaders in those 5 games.
Yeah, they can move the ball around to their different players, and it's one of those things where like, so usually teams have like 1 or 2 good players, and if you can like shut them down, then you can stop the bleeding to a sense. But when a team just keeps passing it around and everybody can score on you, it's not a fun time to be a defense.
Oh yeah. And that's our thing. We live and die off of rebounding. Armando Bacot is, first team All ACC. He has played out of his mind. Needs to get his free throws down because if they start hack-a-shacking him like at the end of the Baylor game, it could be a problem, But he is definitely a top tier guy, and it goes and comes with, like you said, him in the paint, but Caleb Love. If Caleb Love is hitting like in the UCLA game, like in the last game, there you go. We can keep up with any team in the land. But the problem with this is you're going up against a Kansas team that if they get ahead, like they did in the Villanova game, and they get up there and start scoring early, and you get behind, watch out, because they'll run you out of the arena quickly.
Yeah,
quickly. But look, let's dive in how we got here. Let's talk about this because we break it down. We've talked about some of the matchups, and we can go right into the first matchup. Marquette, North Carolina beat them 95-63, and Texas Southern, Kansas beat them 83-56. We kind of saw these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dylan, you were saying you didn't see the Marquette one.
Well, I picked them to win, of course. I think most people picked them to win, but I think they'd win by 30. Because I was watching another game during the first round. I just quickly checked to see, what's going on in this game. They're up by 30 in like 10 minutes in. Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got up to the hot start and they just never looked back. So
we started early, and it you can tell the just the difference in play and the difference in talent. Like we really were balling out early in this game, and that was something that kind of carried us. And then you got Texas Southern on the other side.
That's a 1 seed 16.
Right.
Yeah,
we didn't see that.
It's
if you pick
sacrificial
Texas
lamb.
Right. That's the one that they offer up. Like, here, you can play the play-in game, and then you're gonna get this. So
play a playing game and be happy to be here.
Right now, so those were pretty fairly easy. We saw those coming. Now we have to go to the round of 32. And Colin, I'm coming to you first. That Creighton game that Kansas played, Creighton hung in there with them.
Yeah, I was surprised because I thought on paper Kansas had been unstoppable to this point on offense, and they were rolling through, and Creighton just kept up pace with them. Like they only lost by 7 points.
Yeah.
And Creighton was out without like their second best player, I think. Like their center got injured the game before.
Yep.
Kalkbrenner.
And I mean, they ran with them. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just Kansas, they had their big name players, but none of them. The only person who broke 20 points in that game was Remy Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody was able to break that 20-point. Like, they were able to keep the big shooters in check, which kept them in the game and able to catch up.
Yeah, which was huge, which played huge. And it was almost like they somewhat gave the blueprint. And we'll see in the next matchup how that blueprint kind of almost came into fruition again. But then you have the game on the other side, North Carolina. And I was driving to West Virginia with Kat to see her parents. And we were listening to the North Carolina and Baylor game. And by halftime, I'm sitting here just giddy. Like I'm just floating. I'm driving, but I'm flying because I'm so excited. We're up 25 and early in the second half. And I'm just like, wow. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I remember the Virginia Tech game. I remember us losing to Notre Dame in the ACC earlier in the year. And it's kind of like these guys are defending national champs. They're not just going to roll over. Now, it took some help. Brady Manning gave the elbow. He gets ejected. He had 26 at that point. Caleb Love fouls out early in the second half. So around 10 minutes go, I'm sitting here like, okay, let's just kind of coast in. Baylor comes almost all the way back, Dylan. What did you because you picked Baylor in this one, right?
No, I picked UNC.
Or you picked them to go past me and Colin picked Baylor. Okay. Yeah. What did you think about this, Dylan?
So I started off watching the game. It was like at halftime they were up by 20. So I just like, all right, I'm gonna go out. I'm just gonna go play basketball because I was at my friend's house at this time. So I just went out and played basketball with him. I turned back in with 3 minutes. It's a tie game. Yeah. It goes from like 25 to a tie game so quickly. But I think UNC loses without RJ Davis. RJ Davis just put them on their back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Because what we realized is that those next couple guys down on the bench, outside of R.J. Davis and Leaky Black and Caleb Love, a lot of those guys, if they get pressed, especially by top tier talent like at Baylor, they couldn't get out of the press. We couldn't even make it half court. They were shutting us down.
Because it shows like UNC's biggest flaw coming into the tournament was their bench depth. They have a
they have
6-man rotation maybe.
Yeah.
Where they're just rely on their starting 5 and then have what's his name, Garcia and Leaky Black coming in.
Mm. And that's the problem.
5th guy.
Yeah, that's like you said, that could be a problem because if you get those top guys fouled out or if they're not hitting, you don't have that depth that you can go reach to. Like maybe a Michigan State has 2 like full lineups. That Izzo could pick from.
That's how Gonzaga lost to Arkansas. Chet had an awful game, fouled out. Timmy had to put the team on his back, and he couldn't do it. And Arkansas just came and just stayed with them with their depth and won the game from it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So those two, both can kind of say we snuck out of the round of 32. We get to the Sweet 16. UCLA is standing in front of North Carolina, and I'm going to be very honest. This was a game I was kind of worried about because UCLA was a Final Four team a year ago.
Yep.
And they played us tough, but like you said, hey, Caleb Love, he can either be 1 for 30 or 30 for 30. He came up late in this game, Colin. I mean, and he really pulled us through this one.
Oh yeah, Caleb Love. Yeah, like Dylan said, he's very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing or it's the other thing, and he was just able to come through in this game. And none of the other players had more than 15 points, and he had double 15 points. He dropped 30 points. He took the team and just carried them past UCLA, where I thought they'd be stopped. I honestly had UCLA winning this game, and I didn't see any way North Carolina could win. And then Caleb Love comes out and says, you know what? It's over. I'm moving our team along.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, you needed a leader at that particular time. He showed up, led the way. But even, I mean, to your point that you guys said earlier, it's somebody different each week. Caleb Love has been showing up in the last couple games, but you go to we'll talk about this a little bit later. Our last game, Armando Bacot has last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, he has over 20 rebounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is.
He killed St. Peter. He had like 22 against St. Peter's, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
He's just stealing.
At one point he had I think 16 rebounds and 5 points in the Duke game, and then he ended up getting a double-double. But it goes inside out. But our guards do have to play well. But going back over to to Kansas, Sweet 16, they play a upset-minded Providence team. Providence, they took what Creighton showed them, and they almost applied it to perfection, coming only 5 points short, 66-61. They lose to Kansas, and if there was ever hope that Kansas was gonna get knocked out, I think this is the one. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah. What's it? Remy Martin has just been a bit of a bench player this whole season. Then he just comes out, has 2 games where he scores 20 points. When Agbaji that game only had 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So he was slumping from his standpoint, but Remy Martin was able to start carrying them. He was transfer, I remember, from somewhere out west. I can't remember right now, but Remy Martin from the bench has been able to carry them, which is something that UNC doesn't have. It's a 6-man that can come in, get the buckets, help the struggling team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and number one thing I have written next to his name, explosive. Remy Martin can get going, and he can really be the catalyst for that team. And they needed that in that Providence game. They had to have it.
Arizona State's where he came from.
Oh, that's where he came from. Okay, nice. Yeah, he like I said, he needed to have it in that Providence game. And it's all about surviving and advancing. Now we get down to the Elite 8. And the one thing I did like about the Elite 8, there was 3 teams from the ACC represented in the Elite 8. We have North Carolina, we had Duke, but we also had Miami. Now, I was excited about Miami. Never thought they had a shot, though. Never thought they had a shot. Colin, what did you think about this one? It was a 76-50 loss.
Yeah, It was a good story for Miami. They made it this way, and they ran into the human grinding machine that is the offense of the Jayhawks. The Jayhawks were just able to spread the ball around a lot, and a lot of their players don't have a lot of points, but like most of them have at least like 9 points like in the game, and they were just not able to effectively shut down anybody, and they let the ball get passed around them, and they just gave up points way too often.
Yeah. Like you said, Miami was a good story. I'm glad they can make it this far, and they have a different kind of ball that they play. And it just took a while for somebody to figure them out. But then on the flip side, you have a powerhouse, you have a buzzsaw that is Kansas. Sometimes the talent is just better. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're just riding high at the right time. So Kansas gets that W, 76-50, and they were on to the Final Four. Now on the other side, there was another Cinderella team that everybody was so excited about. And look, I was even on board. I'm not going to lie. I may or may not have placed a little tiny bet on St. Peter's to take it to the Final Four. And I was loving it. I was like, oh, man, this could happen. This could happen. And then I'm like, Elite Eight, they played North Carolina. Lost that money. Because I knew my Tar Heels were going to come correct. And they beat them by 20. This one was not close. In the least at all.
I think because St. Peter's, they've been just relying on their shooters, and they don't have as many great big men. So as soon as you have you're going against a star big man in Baycott, you just out rebounding them the whole time. And since he had other players around him, this is something that Kentucky didn't have. Because everyone was slumping on Kentucky but Sheboy. So since Baycott had other people around him, didn't have to put the team on his back, they were able to just outshoot them and kill the Peacocks.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out to them. Shout out to the season that the Peacocks had. Their coach now got the new job at his alma mater, Seton Hall. So shout out to him. I love that. I would have loved to see him stay for another year just to get those guys ready. It was such a good story, but
St. Peter's becomes the new blue blood team.
Yeah,
hey, you never know. Hey, but look,
replace Villanova.
Yeah, no, we're Villanova.
Or no, they replace Kentucky because they beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Hey, but speaking of Villanova and Colin, this is one of the teams that you had in the Final Four. I wanted them. I love Gillespie. They beat us in 2016. The last play, Chris Jenkins hit it, 4.7 seconds on the clock. They drove it down and he scored a 3 to beat us in the national championship. So I have got much respect for the Coach Wright, and this team. But with the Achilles injury from their star player, Gillespie, did everything he could. They tried to come back in it, but Kansas was just too powerful for him.
Yeah, as soon as he went down for the Achilles, it was over for Villanova. It was just over because they had to rely solely on Gillespie going up against again the buzzsaw that is the Kansas Jayhawks and their ability to just move the ball around and score. And they just got outscored. They could not keep up with Kansas.
This is another time where Villanova didn't have any bench. They had 3 points from their bench the whole game. And so the starters get tired. Boom, Kansas comes in with Remy Martin off the bench. Scores. Just keep scoring, even with the starters getting rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, hey, they proved to be too powerful. Shout out to that team. Gillespie, I know, is I believe a senior, so this might be his final ride. I don't know if he has that COVID year. Hopefully he can get back. It's remarkable what that coach has done for that program. Shout out to Villanova. I mean, they will be back for sure, but they were not able to get for. And again, they just didn't have the pieces with those injuries that had happened. It really put put it in their craw. They couldn't get it done. And on the other side, somebody could get it done. Tar Heels beat Duke in potentially Coach K's last game. We made it his last game. His farewell tour ended there in New Orleans. Shout out to him, though. Coach K is amazing. And actually, I want to show you something that really puts me over the top with Coach K, man. For everything that we've been dealing with him back and forth. At the end of the North Carolina game, all the Duke players walked into the locker room. but Coach K did not. Check this out.
Huebert Davis in his Tar Heel ball club.
Nice.
Started the year off, struggled early on.
Let's go.
Figured it out in mid-February. Went into the postseason. They won 11 out of 13. The hottest team, arguably, going into the tournament. And
I like that. He stayed there to shake hands with all of them.
Yeah. So he came out. He started to walk off the court, and then he came back. Made sure he shook hands with every one of the coaches, every one of the players. I mean, look, everybody knew how big that game was to him, and for him to lose and realize it's over, it's kind of one of those situations where you can get lost in the moment and just be like, forget it, I'm going to the locker room, But he still was a class act all the way through. Shout out to you, Coach K. For my girl Katie Alverson, for your sake, I hope he pulls a Tom Brady, comes back for one more year. But then again, this was his last run, and hey, nothing like having his rival beat him.
It'd be really funny if he comes back and loses to UNC again.
Right?
The third time.
3
Coach
final
K lost
games
his
in a
final game.
row.
Just quit. Just leave already. Throw in the towel.
Over. Can't win.
But look, this game was tough all the way through. Be quite honest with you, it was 37-34 at the half, and technically it was 34-34, and then right before the half, they go up, we foul them, get the and one, and then get the 3-point lead. We came in that second half and had an immediate 10-point run. We really started playing big. We talk about Caleb Love. Caleb Love had, if I'm not mistaken, he had like over 20 in the second half because he was short and he wasn't doing very well in the first. Baycott, like I said, came in there with under like about 5 points and like 16 boards.
Rebounds.
Exactly. And just balled out. He did what he needed to do on the boards, and it had to run through that. Went inside out. Caleb did what he had to do. My guy, Red Jesus, Mr. Brady Manick. Let's go. This guy always came through. He actually had struggled, him and Baycott, who normally obviously have start really well, struggled early in that game, but they hit some crucial shots late in that game. It came down to the wire. It came down to free throw shooting. Love was on point like necessary. But it was sweet. This one was a definite sweet game. I don't know. You guys watched this one?
Yeah, I watched this one.
Yeah. This one's definitely a sweet one. What did you think? Because it could have gone either way at certain points.
Yeah. Duke had Trevor Keels coming to scoring off the bench. They had Paulo Banchero, who was killing it on the for the Blue Devils. Mm-hmm. But it was just second half was just a huge test. Who could outscore the other team?
Yep.
And UNC has enough like really good scores to be able to win that. And so in the second half, they just came out, put their good players in, and since none of them were in too big of foul trouble, they were able to keep the big ones in, get the buckets, not have to go to the bench.
Yeah. And then, Baycott getting 21 rebounds.
Exactly.
When the entirety of Duke had 41. So he had more than 50% of what Duke had the entire game.
Right.
He's insane.
Yeah. And look, like we've said, when these guys are playing well, watch out. We can play with anybody in the country, and we're going to need to continue that this evening. And let's go ahead right on into that. How are we going to continue that? Well, let's talk about the tail of the tape. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two powerhouse teams. I think we could throw the seeding out. Number 1 and a number 8 seed is not that far away. Kansas is 33-6. UNC is 29-9. Okay? We talked about both of these teams and playing well at the right time. Kansas has won their last 10 games. North Carolina, their last 5. These are both hot. Nobody's a slouch when you get to this point. Yeah. But I think the game is going to come down to top players. Yeah. And Colin, I'm going to go to you first real quick because I know you got a player on Kansas that you love this guy. Yeah. You love this guy.
Mr. Ochai Agbaji, who is he's another one of those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde players. Like at the beginning of the tournament, like against Texas and Texas State and what was the other one? Creighton. He's miserable. He's shooting like 20% from the field. He's just not hitting on anything.
He's
And then against
Caleb Love
Providence,
versus West or Virginia Tech.
yeah, and Providence.
I think
oh,
Caleb Love versus. I think he went 0 for 12 from 3.
Yeah.
Something like
Rough.
that.
It was rough.
he was a nice against Providence, a nice 0 egg from threes, and then suddenly against Miami, he is just balling out again. He's
Yeah.
hitting like 66% from the field goal and from the field, and hitting all his threes, all
Yep.
2 of his threes, but he made the threes. And then against Villanova, I was watching him. He made 6 of 7 free throws. Every time they gave it to him behind the arc, it was 9 times out of 10 going in.
He's getting it.
And
Yeah.
he scored 21 points, and he helped he helped them in the shootout with Villanova. He's got to keep it up though, against North Carolina, especially who can kind of match the scoring that Kansas has been putting out. They need to be firing on all cylinders, and if he has another one of his off games, it's going to be hard to dig themselves out of a hole if it turns into a shootout.
Absolutely. And coming on the other side, going up against guys like him, we know about our big men. We know about Armando Bacot. We've talked about Caleb Love. But my guy, like I've talked about, Red Jesus, Brady Manick, he plays well because he can kind of guard up with the big guys. Now, if it's somebody that can take you off the ball, because if you saw Benchero, each time he ISO'd Manick, he was taking Manick. He was taking him to the hoop each time, and that worries me. But he has to play well. And another person, Dylan, that you talked about, RJ Davis. RJ Davis played huge late in that Baylor game. He's got to play big tonight.
That's it. Yeah, I would say so. UNC, they have like no bench. So if more than just one of their big 4 players if they have like 2 of them going off, there's no way they can see from this game. They need at least 3 to be on the mark, getting at least like 15 this game. RJ Davis has been very good this tournament. I remember he had the huge game against Baylor where he put 30, but he's been averaging like 10, 12 this whole tournament. Caleb Love's been very hit or miss. Mm-hmm. And then Brady Manick and Bacot have been very consistent when they've been able to stay on the court and not get into foul trouble or just get ejected.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And another thing that unfortunately I hope it doesn't rear its ugly head tonight. Late at the end of last game, Armando Bacot came down on one of his guys' foot and kind of twisted his ankle. Went out, then did like what's the guy Walt Frazier, where he comes back in the game, and you're like, oh my goodness. Then he fouls out a little bit later, so it's like you could have rested the rest of the game. Come on now. But it led to his backup Puff Johnson, whose brother Cam Johnson plays for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, balling out. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken,
I think Cam Johnson was at NC as well.
He played. He was one of the guys that helped us get a national championship.
Yeah,
and he was actually at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy. I love that, man. And I hope just like his brother, he can bring a title home, Puff Johnson. But he was the one who hit him, and he gave us some valuable minutes. But we can't rely on that. But when he comes in, we need to have whatever points we can get from them, because I think bench scoring is going to be huge in this game. And I mean, like you said, we know about the big guys. You obviously for Kansas, you got David McCormick, who, I mean, everybody talks about. This man is a man amongst boys in most situations. Really, really eager to see the Armando Bacot versus David McCormick middle in that battle in the paint. I think that's going to be a tough battle. But you got Jalen Wilson. You guys talked about Remy Marr, OJ Agbaji. You know what I mean? So both sides are going to have to be hitting. They're going to have to be playing top tier basketball all the way through. And it might almost be like whoever's missing, whoever's not hitting, whoever's not hot, gets on. When they allow the other team to get on these runs and doesn't play defense, they might not be able to have a chance to come back.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
UNC has not been able to rely on their bench the whole season. They had Leaky Black play the entire game last time, and Caleb Love played the entire game last time.
Yeah.
They had only 2 points from their bench.
Yeah.
Last time, which just came from Puff Johnson.
Johnson, yeah, on one
Mhm.
shot.
Yeah. On the
No, it wasn't even that. It was 2 free throws.
It was the
So,
2 free
yeah,
throws, right? He
That was
came
it.
in for that, and he hit, but he did what he needed to do, and that was. I appreciate that,
But
we're gonna need more.
if like let's say like if Caleb Love is off this game and then one of the big men goes into foul trouble, boom, UNC is not going to be able to recover.
Yeah.
Right. But
And
then
then-
on the other side,
Same
what if
thing
the
with
Kansas
Kansas.
guys? Right.
Yeah.
If Agbaji or Remy Martin's off and McCormick gets into foul trouble, boom, they're done.
Right.
Yeah.
They need their each team has like their starters and they just need their big pillars to stay in the game, not get into foul trouble. Because that's how most of the teams, like most of the big teams, that's how they've gone out this tournament. It's foul trouble.
Exactly. And that, stay tuned because that's going to be definitely in one of the predictions and how to win the game. But look, let's go quickly down the line and tail the tape. You got points per game. Kansas 78.4, North Carolina 78.1. You know what I mean? So when we average both around the same, we can play hot. Defensively, Kansas only gives up about 61 points a game. You know, North Carolina's up to about 68 points a game, and that's rough. But I think where this game will be decided is in the paint, the rebounds. North Carolina averages about 41 rebounds a game. Colin, like you were talking about, Baycott having 21, more than half of what Duke's whole team had. But not to be outdone, Kansas, they have about 38 rebounds a game. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Yeah, if I can comment on that, I think one of the more unsung heroes of the Kansas Jayhawk team has been Jalen Wilson.
Yes.
Because we talk a lot about Baycock being able to rebound, and he gets like 21 rebounds. But Wilson's one of those people who could run like toe-to-toe with him because in the last 2 games, he's had like 11 rebounds and 14 rebounds and then 16 rebounds.
Yeah.
He's able to get the rebounds the same as Baycott. So a big part of that was Baycott being able to get the rebounds so they could score more. And having both McCormick and Wilson down in the paint will make it, I guess, a little more challenging for him than other big men had given him earlier on in the tournament.
But UNC, Leaky Black, he's pretty tall for like a guard. He's 6'8". He's pretty tall. He had 6 offensive rebounds as a guard against Duke.
Okay.
He's been able to get offensive rebounds and put it back up when Baycott gets like attention. He's the one that's able to go in and get rebounds as well. So UNC is good rebounding guards, which helps them get the rebounds as well.
Right. And our guard play, I think, is going to have to play above and beyond. You talked about we got Leaky Black, Caleb Love, RJ Davis. You know what I mean? These guys come in, and the guys are coming off the bench. We need our guard play to be elite today. Elite, absolutely. But again, this is going to come down to a couple things. I'm going to go right into predictions. This is going to come down to, in my opinion, foul trouble, who can dominate the paint, and who controls the pace of the game. If you let Kansas jump out early and start shooting the lights out, good luck. See you next year because Kansas is that daggone good. But if you let Baycott, if you let them boys from North Carolina control the boards, get Kansas in foul trouble, watch out, man, because North Carolina is no slouch. Colin, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think? What are going to be the keys to victory? What's your prediction?
Well, I think one of the in my predictions, one of the greatest things to me is pace and keeping with pace. And I think that UNC's lack of any bench depth is really going to hurt them, especially playing against a Kansas Jayhawks team that has been scoring really well.
Right.
And I think by towards the second half, your starters are going to start getting winded keeping up with these players who are being able to shoot. And I don't think that UNC is going to be able to control the pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baycott's going to try his best, but I don't see him being as dominant as usual. And I think that the Jayhawks are just like rolling momentum and they're just on a roll, especially when they just dismantled the Wildcats in the last game.
Very true.
And
Now,
They're coming in.
hey, Colin, be careful what you say, because I got my hand on your camera right now. So if I got to take you off camera, we can. No, you're good. You're good.
And then we go back. UNC, they like everything has to click perfectly.
You're absolutely right.
One thing stops, like if Baycott can't get enough rebounds or if Love can't keep up with the scoring, the wheels start to fall off your bus.
Yep.
So that's my thoughts.
I like it. I like it. Do you have a prediction for the game?
Oh yeah, I have the Jayhawks winning by 11.
Oh,
I forgot what
I
the
like
exact score was.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Dylan, what you got for me?
So I think there's gonna be the most important times of the game are gonna be the first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yes.
Because if one of those teams comes out of the locker room shooting lights out, hitting their threes, goes into the lead, I don't think any team's gonna be able to come back from a double-digit lead.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen North Carolina. They blew a lead against Baylor, able to come back and finish it in overtime. But you've seen Kansas gets out to a lead. They've never turned back, never gotten another team back into it.
Yeah.
So if no team goes out to a run and each team can like stay within each other and wait for their turn for a run, both teams probably have a shot at winning this game. But I think UNC, with 4 like really good scorers, I think one of them is able to go off and be able to carry them to win the game. So I'm picking UNC. And what's it? 92-89 in overtime.
Ooh, an OT. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that was a great point. Both of y'all actually made really good points. That pace is key. I 100% agree with that, because if we trying to catch up with them at their pace, that's when you start having us chuck up threes and missing possessions. You know what I mean? We have to maximize our possessions on offense. And like you were saying, Dylan, like the first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the second half, you have to control that momentum. You have to get on a run. What happened against Duke? We got on a run the first, 5 minutes of the second half. Look what we did Baylor. We blew them out early. Unfortunately, things transpired to where they came back, but we were looking good and almost putting in, the nail in the coffin. So that is definitely going to have to be key. But I mean, you guys hit a nail on the head. Every one of those guys has to be on fire. Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, Brady Manick, Armando Baycott, Puff Johnson, Leaky Black. Any of those guys that's coming in the game has to be on fire. And fouls. Foul trouble is going to be huge. If there's a way that you can get the McCormicks and the Jalen Wilsons in foul trouble, that could be a big difference. But same thing on the other side. You get Armando Baycott in foul trouble early.
Was it Baycott, Brady Manick are like their only 2 big men.
Exactly.
So if one of them fouls out, you're going to be playing like Leaky Black at power forward. So
exactly, and that is going to be a real problem. You saw the Baylor game. I'm going to keep going back to that one because Brady Manick goes out. Caleb Love goes out. You know what I mean?
And as soon as Brady Manick got ejected, they just forced it in the paint, try to get because Baycock didn't get into foul trouble. So then they just had 2 big men just dominating the paint, be able to score buckets, get rebounds, get them back into the game.
Oh yeah.
So the most important thing for UNC is keeping Baycott and Manick both in the game.
Yeah.
Because if one of them goes out, it's done.
Yeah.
With being able to stop the paint.
So I say we continue this miracle run. Obviously, I'm not rooting against my team. Tar Heels 79-76. We get the W. Coach Huebert Davis' first year. He's a coach of the year. Now he's going to sit here and hopefully get a national championship. Keep this North Carolina train running. I do think it's going to be a great game. I will be nervous and sweating the whole entire thing. But we shall see. I am super excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited that I got to be on here with the Walshes, Colin and Dylan.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, look, shout out to your dad. It's like I get them confused all the time too. Don't worry. Let's go. Yo, and I want you guys, everybody, to pay attention in the coming. You guys, like I said earlier, you've seen Dylan on Let's Talk Football Sunday with us during the regular season. Well, we're in off season now. Dylan, Colin, both of you guys are deep into the offseason, free agency, the draft, all these things coming up. So I will definitely be calling on you guys to come help me to deliver that good news, because there's so much to talk about with that. I got so many questions to ask you guys and your predictions of what's going to happen this coming year. So I like that. I'm excited. So I thank you guys for jumping on here. I thank you guys. Yeah, we got to do this more often. So you guys are on spring break, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you enjoying yourself? You doing anything fun?
Yeah, we're going down to Williamsburg Thursday.
Yeah,
Friday,
Thursday.
Saturday.
Okay. You gonna go see like Jamestown, that type of stuff, or
there's a
There's
resort
like a water
town
park
there we go
place
to.
there that we go to.
oh,
And we have
okay.
grandparents down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Captain George's. You ever go visit
Yep.
that place?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
Yes, that is my spot. Yes, sir. Yo, I love it. Yes, thank you guys for coming on. If you guys do not know, I am live with the Walshes. My guy Colin, his little brother Dylan. We're up here talking about tonight's game, the national championship game. My Tar Heels. You see it, Tar Heel Nation. I'm gonna show you how deep we're in this thing, man. I got the Tar Heel shoes on. I got the everything right now, man. I got the mask, the whole nine. So Tar Heel Nation, stand up. Hopefully we can get this W tonight. But we are going to let you go. The game starts in 2 hours. Definitely take a look. Hopefully we're going to have a great one. And I will be back on with you guys another time. Yeah, buddy. So thank you so much for everybody that caught up with us. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully I'll still be able to talk tomorrow. My voice was hoarse for a couple days last time.
Yeah,
buddy. So hey, it was good talking, and we will definitely get down this a little bit later. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the game.
how do you?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The Lion. The Lion. You need to fight. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
Let's go. Talk.